An inmate escapes from the Kentucky State Reformatory in LaGrange, but it isn't until a sheriff's deputy sees him about a mile away that the prison even learned that he had escaped. The Wave troubleshooters have learned Alexander Maldonado escaped the prison without prison staff noticing. Maldonado was seen walking around a creek nearby wearing a t-shirt and khakis, holding his inmate shirt. He claimed that he was being illegally detained.
A former employee at a prison in Oldham County is accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a convicted. Kenya Wade is charged with a misdemeanor of official misconduct. She worked as a social service clinician at the Kentucky State Reformatory. An internal investigation uncovered sexual phone calls that she made to Cedric Thompson. He is serving a 70-year sentence for attacking and raping women at apartment complexes in Linden.
Headlights flashed outside the Kentucky State Reformatory as the Department of Corrections emergency response team made their way into the state's second largest prison. The Department of Corrections says while a nurse was working, an inmate pulled a homemade shank on her and took her hostage. You can see people moving inside the prison as officers worked to get the nurse out safely. The Department of Corrections says Carver was taken to Baptist Health in LaGrange. Kentucky State Police say Carver died around 7:25 Tuesday night, 3 hours after taking the nurse hostage. The Department of Corrections says the nurse, who works at Correct Care Solutions, was not injured and is doing okay.
The state's largest prison, holding more than 2,000 inmates, has been scarred by tragedy and turmoil. In January 2013, mentally ill prisoner Stephen McStutes died after being forcibly removed from his cell and strapped face down in 5-point restraints on a mattress. Surveillance video captured the harrowing moments as McStutes went limp and stopped breathing. His family later sued, arguing that guards used an outdated and inappropriate restraint method that caused his suffocation. The coroner ruled the death undetermined, but outside reviews faulted Kentucky's training and restraint policies. One veteran defense attorney noted that officers in the footage looked untrained and not prepared to handle a mental health crisis, a stark warning of how security procedures can overshadow inmate care. A decade later, Kentucky State Reformatory again drew national attention. On New Year's Eve 2023, inmate David Carver took a prison nurse hostage with a homemade knife. After hours of tense negotiations, an emergency response team stormed the cell. When Carver lunged, troopers opened fire, deleting him instantly. It was one of the first hostage situations in the prison's history. From suffocations to standoffs, Kentucky State Reformatory's record reveals how quickly order can collapse inside overcrowded, underfunded facilities. Here, a single agitated prisoner, whether in crisis or intent on violence, can turn an ordinary shift into a fight for survival.